I was yelling, screaming, kicking those dogs in the face, whatever I could do to make them stop attacking this one.
Dogs behave in a certain way. They behave like dogs.
Medium dogs chase little dogs. And this happens all the time.
This woman to me does not seem like she's capable of keeping them under control.
That's completely unreasonable.
If you want to fight, I can get you boxing gloves, but we're not here for that. My first case ever with worms.
Come here, Sophie. Get him, Rusty.
Can I say something?
No. If she hadn't had an oral agreement, how do you do? I know you've all been sworn. I have read your complaint, ma'am. You claim that your poodle was attacked by the defendant's dog?
Yes, we were
You got all three
dogs.
of them?
Yeah,
Dogs.
she had all three of them at the time. We were at Off-leash Dog Park in the Sepulveda Basin, so all dogs were off the leash at the time. He was with me. At one point, she said something. She said she had said, "Pick up your dog." I didn't hear any of this. We were simply walking, and I looked up, and these three dogs were coming towards us at a run and started to attack this dog. So at that point, I was yelling, screaming, kicking those dogs in the face, whatever I could do to make them stop attacking this one, and they wouldn't. She came over, she's yelling at them, screaming at them, they wouldn't stop.
This an off-leash park?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And did you say something to the plaintiff about her dog?
Yes, Your Honor. We had been in the park for a while.
No,
and
I asked you if you said something.
Yes, I did.
What
As
did you
I
say?
ran across the park, I yelled, "Please pick up your small dog." Okay.
How far
and
away? How far away were you from her when you said that?
Well, I said it a couple of
Can I present
times.
something to the court as evidence here?
What is your relationship to?
I'm the defendant's husband.
Yes, this,
Okay,
it's
well, just
a video
step back.
of the park.
This is a video of the park.
That's correct,
Right.
Your Honor.
Okay.
Okay, this is the entrance to the Sepulveda Basin Off-Leash Dog Park, Your Honor. Now, this place right here is set aside for small dogs. And you'll see in a minute that this is about an acre piece. Inside that fence there is set aside for dogs of this size. And that is done for a very good reason, Your Honor, because dogs behave in a certain way. They behave like dogs. Big dogs like to chase little dogs, and that's just the way dogs are. Okay, now you can see my wife was running from way back there, shouting, waving her arms the whole way.
This is a recreation.
This is a recreation, Your Honor, and she, from the exact position she was I'm shooting from the place where the plaintiff was standing with her dogs. Now, okay, now you can see the amount of distance that my wife had to travel, the amount of time it took for her to cover that entire area.
All right.
Yeah, Your Honor, that may be true. I also have a large dog. Now, see, I can't bring my large dog into small dog, but I can bring my small dogs anywhere I want. This dog
Well,
will
why
never
would you?
be-
Wait a minute. Why would you want to do that?
Because I have a big dog.
Was your big dog with you that day?
Yeah, she was, but she isn't like, this dog loves only me. He's by my feet the whole time. He was always by my feet the whole time. He was right behind me. They came up in a pack.
And
my other two dogs were off doing their thing, what they do. They're off playing with other dogs, doing whatever they need to do. This one just happened to be with me. I was walking the perimeter.
What's
so
the
he could
purpose
get-
of having a small dog area?
to
Small and
keep-
timid dog.
Because if you don't have a big dog, I can bring my small dogs into big, but I cannot bring my big dog into the small. So I
But
can't
you heard
keep them
this gentleman.
separated.
You heard this gentleman say, "Wait a minute. You don't know what I'm going to say, do you?" I don't think you do.
I heard what he said.
I know. But what he said was that dogs act that way, that big dogs like to go after little ones.
Only his dogs have ever done that.
That's not true,
Not
Your
Well,
Honor.
wait a
Not
minute.
even. I've never been there.
Wait a
Me.
minute.
He wasn't even there. So
I've
he
been
wasn't
there
even
many
there.
times,
She
Your
was
Honor.
there.
In general,
Ladies
He
and
was not
gentlemen,
even there, so
ladies
he's
and
not here.
gentlemen, only one person in this courtroom is in control and in charge, and that's me. And I will not allow talking to go on like this with three people shouting at each other. It just won't happen. Won't do it. Are your dogs known to be aggressive, ma'am?
no, sir, they're not aggressive.
I have an affidavit that has witnesses that says
I
they
have-
are.
Wait.
I have an affidavit
From
signed
who?
by 2 witnesses that were at there and also had
Well,
seen
they were
prior to this incident.
I'm talking about that they're aggressive prior to
They
this.
were so aggressive that they moved their dogs away, and it says that right there in the affidavit. That her
Your
dogs are
Honor?
always aggressive. And I saw her 2 days later, and they were messing with a boxer.
Have you read this affidavit?
Yes, Your Honor, I have, and I have a rebuttal on it.
All right, what's your rebuttal?
When I enter the park, every time I enter the park, and I've been going there for over 2 years, I walk in with my dogs on lead. You're not allowed to walk in with them off lead. I allow my males to go free first so they can blow off steam. Then I let the female go. By the time I let the female go, we were past the small dog area. The people that signed her affidavit were sitting in chairs in the middle of the park. They were not there when I arrived. As a matter of fact, we were there for over a half hour before this lady arrived. And most of the dogs that were there had left.
What's the purpose of having an off-leash park?
The purpose is to allow the dogs, 1, to run, because they're not allowed to run anywhere else free, and 2, to socialize. Now, I have show dogs, and they're very socialized, and yes, they do play, and they play very rough. They play rough amongst themselves.
Well,
But, you know,
by
they're-
rough you mean they are aggressive.
no, they play rough. They play hard.
What does that mean?
If they, you know, if dogs are playing and 2 get into it, they jump at each other and they throw paws at each other. But these are big dogs. And the reason they have the small dog park, and her other 2 dogs are still, I would consider, small enough to go into the small dog park without anybody giving her an argument. Big dogs, medium dogs, chase little dogs. And this happens all the time.
Ms.
And I
Lair,
wasn't in the park 2 days later.
You go down there anytime during the day, sir, and
Or in
you'll
the
find
evening.
dogs chasing each other. I would bet that there are dogs that get bloodied at that park every single day. And it's not from aggression. It's simply that dogs horseplay, and they play hard, and a tooth gets caught. One snaps a little and catches the other one. It wasn't 3 days after this event
In the evening.
that my dog, yes, my dog, joined in a melee that was going on, and he got, what?
Stitches.
17 stitches in his side. This is the 3rd time that's happened down at the park. But if you want to take your dogs and have them run and get the exercise that they need,
Come on,
you take them to the dog park where it's
but
legal to take
I
them
just want to
off.
be sure you control those dogs.
come on,
Good along.
come on.
What I want to know, Ms. Lair, from
Come on,
you
lay
is
down.
this.
Come on,
You said it's their responsibility, even though it's an off-leash park,
hand it down.
to control their dogs.
Puppies.
How would one do that in a park of this kind where you have so much ground to cover and you're allowing them to run and socialize with other dogs?
What I would do as a responsible pet owner, I make sure my dogs know their names. I know if I'm over there and if my dog was in a fight and I was over there, I could break her up.
Come on.
And I only bring 1 dog. My biggest dog is half their size. My biggest dog is 55 pounds. They have 350-pound dogs, and this woman to me does not seem like she's capable of keeping them under control. I've had show dogs myself, top champion show dogs, and we don't allow them to run in dog park because of disease and things like that. So I don't believe that part of her either. And so everything they're saying, it's just ridiculous. I had control of my dogs. My dogs were attacked, but the main thing is she gave me this card with her name. She said, I will take care of it. Don't worry, I'm responsible. I will take care of it. She said that in front of me, in front of the woman who signed the affidavit. I sent her the bill, and all of a sudden, oh, that's too much. I can't pay that much.
Excuse me, do you have a vet bill?
And I have pictures of his injuries.
Okay.
So she admitted, she said, I'm responsible. I will take care of this. That's what I'm suing.
It's a contract.
He wasn't there. He just keeps butting in. This has to do with Patricia
I don't think he
and
would-
myself.
I don't have to be there to know that that doesn't constitute a contract.
Sir,
You can see right there, she gave me her name and her number. She's like, I'm responsible. And I'm like, fine. I took him to my vet. That's what it came up. I think $300 is a lot of money, but when you're a tiny little dog like this being mauled by 3 giant dogs like that, you have to have x-rays. An x-ray right alone is
This dog wasn't
$85.
mauled.
Mauled. All
If
of these
my
little
dog-
spots on this dog
if my
here,
dog wanted
all
to
these
hurt
little
your
spots.
dog, it
ma'am,
would be
ma'am.
Well, so if you shake a baby and it doesn't die, but you do shake
Be
it
right
one
back
time
with
and
my
it does
decision.
die,
Keep talking to each other. Keep talking.
don't allow cats to live in my home.
So I opened up the garage door and a cat ran out.
I'm the one that had the dog. The dog was brought to me because the dog was without water.
Remain seated and come to order. This court is again in session.
Plaintiff brought this action, and she's got to prove by a preponderance of the evidence that the defendants were negligent in the way they handled their dogs and that their dogs bit the plaintiff's dog. No question about the bite. There's no question about the amount of vet bill was $291. The fact that the defendant said, I'll take care of it, it's my responsibility. Her husband is correct. It's not a contract. It's also not an admission of liability. She didn't say it was my fault. I didn't take care of my dogs properly. I should have done it. I should have done this. I should have done that. It's not an admission of liability. Lay people think it is, but it isn't. And I say that respectfully, but people often think that they hear something and they get this attitude, but the law isn't always the way it seems that it should be. It's true that a small dog could be taken into the large dog area in the off-leash park. Absolutely correct. But when you do it, you then assume the risk of a larger dog attacking your small dog. And if you assume that risk, it's your responsibility. Now, this is a very large area. I can't tell for sure, but it looks to me like at least a football field and a half, maybe 2 football fields. It's a vast area. Dogs are taken there off-leash park so that they can run. And when they run, and they're big dogs, and they get into these scraps with other dogs, you can't control them. It's almost impossible. Maybe they should have names. Maybe they should be trained better. But when you're allowed to run 100 yards or more, you're away from your owner, how can you possibly control them? So I see no negligence on the part of the defendants whatsoever. I feel sorry for your dog, and I know you're close to your dog. And the fact that the dog was injured the way it was, I certainly empathize with it. I even sympathize with it. But I can't give you a judgment based upon sympathy. Judgment is for the defendant.
If someone says they're responsible, I take that as they give you their name and their number. I take that as an admission to guilt.
My dogs live with 4 cats, which
So,
are about the
what's that
size
got
of
to
this
do with
dog.
anything?
And there's no harm done to
What's
the
that
cats
got to do with
or
anything?
the cats outside. They wanted to
This
play.
is not a cat.
They ran across the park to play, but they were just too rough.
If these dogs really wanted to attack this dog,
They did really want to attack this
they
dog.
would
No,
have
it
killed
would've been
this
dead.
dog in about
The dog would
10
have been
seconds
dead.
flat.
It wouldn't have needed stitches.
And
It
to
would have
use the
needed a
word
new
attack
leg.
and to use
I mean,
the word maul is to take
Maul.
words that have emotional
This breed is
context
not
to
known
them
for
and to
mauling.
use them
Right.
inappropriately.
Or for
These
aggression.
dogs did not attack her dog.
If I don't let my pets in the house, they don't come in the house.
And the carpet smelled of cat urine.
When I returned to get another load, she had locked the house up and took my pets.
The Animal Court is now in session. The Honorable Joseph A. Wapner, Judge presiding.
I know you've all been sworn. I have read your complaint, ma'am. You had a lease with the defendants?
Yes, a month-to-month tenancy.
You have a copy of it?
Yes, I do.
How much was the rent?
$9.75 a month.
And how many months did they not pay?
They didn't pay for 53 days. That's $1,722.50.
What are the other damages you're seeking?
The property needed to be repainted. They broke a door jamb.
Do you have a list of the damages and what?
Yes, I do, sir.
Did you make this up?
Yes, I did.
Do you have receipts for anybody that you may have paid?
Yes, I do.
Were you living there at her place?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. And when did you move out?
I began moving out the week of the 16th of September.
How much rent did you owe when you left, if any?
I owed her for the month of September and for the the month of August and half of September.
So how much was that?
Roughly around close to $1,400.
Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
we needed to amend.
You need to amend what?
A countersuit to this case.
You don't have a countersuit now, so you can't amend it. You want to file a countersuit.
Yes, sir.
For what?
Because she took possession of my property.
Do you have any objection to them filing a countersuit and me hearing it today?
Yes.
Okay. She's not prepared apparently to go into that, so I'm going to deny your motion. What are your other damages other than the rent, ma'am?
I had to have the carpet shampooed when I arrived at the property on September 18th. It was completely open. The garage door was ajar and it was held open with a brick. So I opened up the garage door and a cat ran out and the door to the house was open. The cat had been going in and out and the carpet smelled of cat urine and the garage had cat urine and feces.
Do you own cats?
Yes, we owned a cat.
How many cats?
2.
2.
Even though I've denied you your right to file a countersuit, you can present evidence of damage as an offset.
Okay.
So you can do that. So when we get to that point, now what did you want to say, ma'am?
I don't allow cats to live in my home. The cat did live in the garage. Unfortunately, the door was opened because he was in the middle of moving.
You're saying the 2 cats never were allowed inside?
They were not living in the home. They were not allowed inside.
And they understood what you were saying?
Well, no, if I don't let my pets in the house, they don't come in the house.
When were you living there?
I moved out of the house in May.
So between May and September, he could have had the cats inside?
There's a possibility he could have had the cats.
Did you have the cats inside?
No.
Never?
Never.
You have some pictures, ma'am?
Yes,
I was
I
going to
do.
ask you either you got pictures of the place. When were they taken?
The day on September 18th.
Did you give him a 3-day notice to pay rent or quit?
Yes, I did.
You have a copy of that?
Yes, I do.
Were you served with that?
I think he's got
Yes,
it.
I got it in the mail.
That was on
Did you pay the
August-
rent when she gave you the notice?
No.
Judge,
Yes.
prior to him getting his 3-day notice,
What's your relationship to the plaintiff?
I'm her assistant. I work with Pam. About a week prior, Pam asked me to call Mr. Jones and see about his rent because at that point he had owed her back rent.
Yeah.
And he did tell me that he would be there the next day to pay it. And he did.
Well, he's admitted he hasn't paid the rent.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, now let's go to this business. You said that she kept your property or something?
Yeah.
What property?
All my belongings. Here's what happened. I had to get somebody to help me. My friend here, Calvin, helped me with one load up my truck. I had to take some stuff, move stuff to LA, and I had to get a storage spot out in Moreno Valley where we were. When I returned to get another load, she had locked the house up and took my pets.
What
And-
pets? Did she take the dog?
She took the dog and one of the cats. She took the mother of the kitten. When I talked to her,
The mother of the kids.
of the kitten. There was a mother and a kitten. She separated them because she took the mother and then the kitten, we don't know what happened to the kitten. So
What was the kitten worth?
worth?
Worth.
We don't know the value of cats. It was a gift.
It was a gift.
The original cat was
So-
a gift to my son for his birthday.
So-
So we don't really know the price.
You have
of
no idea what it was worth?
No.
What happened to the cat?
The cat ran out the second time we went to the property, the day he was supposed to meet us there to pick up all of his stuff. And he called at 7:30 that morning and said, my money didn't come, so I can't move my stuff out. And I said, well, Gordon, I'm going to have to put it in storage then. And so his stuff currently is in storage in Moreno Valley at the storage unit. And I told him where it was and what it would cost him to bail it out.
Your property's in storage, sir. How much it'll cost to get it out?
If he wants to just go pick it up, I don't want to have to keep paying on this storage bill. He can come pull a truck up and get it.
You want to go get it?
Yes.
Can you make a date with her now? I mean, to get the property.
Yes.
Yes.
What else you want as by way of an offset? Because you're going to get your property, apparently.
From what we understand, she wants our dog.
You want her dog?
If they wanted to put their dog up for adoption, that Mr. Pat, who groomed the dog and took the fleas and ticks out of it and took all the mats out of it, would give it a good home, find it a good home.
Well, you want the dog, right?
Right.
Well, we forget the dog. They keep the dog.
Okay.
It's their dog. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, well, about the dog. The reason that
About what?
The dog, and they're upset.
Dog's been taken care of.
No. I'm just saying because see, I'm the one that had the dog. The dog was brought to me because the dog was without water. That when they went to the store, when they went to the house the first time, the dog was and the cat were there with no water. There was food and there was no water.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
How about the young lady back there? What's your name?
Mia.
Mia, I don't want to neglect you. What would you like to tell me?
Lefty.
What?
She said nothing.
Nothing. Plaintiff is entitled to the rent that wasn't paid. She gave the proper notice, 3-day notice to pay rent or quit. You decided not to pay the rent. You decided to quit. So you left. She's also entitled to damages to the property. And all of this comes to $3,000. As far as the kitten is concerned, you're entitled to $25 for the kitten. I think I'm being very lenient with you to give you that, but as to whether or not they lost it or just ran away. I'm also going to give you the attorney's fees of $482.50, which pertain to the lockout. So $3,000 less $592.50. Judgment is for plaintiff for $2417.50.
Thank you.
No business going in the house.
Of course I did, Gordon. You had abandoned it.
I hadn't abandoned anything. Don't you have all my belongings? Don't you have every pair of clothes I own, every pair of shoes I own, all my beds and my bedding, all my
But why didn't you show up the following
all
Wednesday?
All my equipment.
Sir, reason being...
Wait, I called you.
Right.
I talked to you. You told me to come Wednesday. You told me if I wasn't there Wednesday with your money, I wasn't getting my belongings back.
I was there when she made the call.
I'm talking to her. I called you Thursday morning at 7:30 in the morning and said, Pam, I haven't got my money yet, but I'll have the stuff out by Friday. Then you said, well, you're too late. I took your stuff and put it in storage, and I want $500 to get it out. That's what happened.